Hi, my name is Heather Cornick. I am 22 and I live in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. Something that I would use to describe myself and my personality is I'm very positive and upbeat. I always have a smile on. I always wear bright colors or something colorful. This isn't that bright, I apologize. My entire room is bright colors. I'll explain that later. But I also live by the motto, which I found a little placard of. It says, do one thing that makes you happy every day. So, I was diagnosed last summer, May 12th, 2008, with adrenal cancer. It's also known as adrenal cortisol carcinoma, or ACC for short. I work at a summer camp, so the first reaction I had was like, can I go to camp? Are you sure? Wait. So I'm going to camp, right? And I'm going to college, right? I'm finishing my senior year. That's no biggie, right? That's no big deal. I can do all that, right? All right, I got it. I'm good. So that's kind of the things I was coping with, because things I love to do is I love working with kids. I love being a camp counselor. I love going shopping. I love going to movies. Like, I can't get enough of movies. I have an entire collection of them over there. It's kind of ridiculous. I love reading books as well, and I also love going to the water park that's like across the street from my new house. It's fantastic. Right now, my initial reaction, which was kind of like, can we get this over with? I originally thought it was just going to be a bump in the road, something easy, something I can overcome, no big deal, it won't matter, it won't affect my whole life. Like, little did I know that, like, cancer can kind of take over your life at some points. My goal is to try and make it so it's not the main focus of my life and that people don't look at me as that cancer girl. But you know what? I think it's really important to get the message out that adrenal cancer needs to have focus, because if I don't talk about it, who's going to? And most of the studies show that if you have adrenal cancer, your rates of living, I'll have you go Google it because I don't want to talk about it. Like, so it's important to know that there are people out there that are still living and surviving with it and are healthy. Like, I was once told I'm too healthy to have cancer. I mean, I do have my own hair. I have my eyebrows. Like, the only thing I have is chemo brain, where I can't remember syllables or sentences or anything. I am seeing a therapist because my oncologist suggested it, and my therapist has been a great help in guiding me through this. He's actually a specialist in dealing with illness, so it's really great. He's awesome. He also went to IU, so we talk a lot about things about Indiana. I haven't gotten any support groups because all the support groups that are available around here are catered for older people or people who have breast cancer or certain types of cancer. And, there's no support group out here for somebody who's a young adult who has a rare cancer. You just don't see that. A typical day in my life is getting up when I wake up in the morning, which can be whenever time, because I like my sleep. I will then go take my medicine. I then wait and take my breakfast. I then will kind of check my email, see what's going on with my work, because I just got a job. Yay, I'm working, I'm employed. So I check to see what's going on with my work. I'll work on my if I need to call somebody, if I need to do something, if I need to get something done, I'll get it taken care of. So that's pretty much what I do. I'll go hang out with friends. I'm trying to get as much time in as I can with my friends. My grandma calls me all the time. I hang out with her. She's a blast. She knows that I am. She can text message. It's so funny. I love her. My uncle lives with us over the summer, so I've been chilling with him a couple of the times he's been here. He went away to Sweden, but now he was back and then he went away. He works for Disney on Ice. He's awesome. I love him. It's really interesting because my family has been extremely supportive, like 100%. Like, whatever I want to do, I know they're behind me. And my friends, cancer has really shown me who I can trust as a friend and who isn't really a true friend. It's surprising. Like, it's sad to say that, but there are people who basically, they don't want to deal with cancer. And I get all the time, like, cancer's a big girl issue and we're not old enough to deal with that. When are you old enough? That's my question. When it comes to dating, I haven't really dated that much. So the issue for me is, how do I approach somebody? Hi, my name's Heather. I'm a Cancer. Actually, that's not my sign. That's the disease I have. I'm a Taurus. Hey, want to date? Yeah, thanks. I value honesty. Like, it's just something I need to deal with and something I need to cope with myself, because I'm also dealing with the fact that I might never be able to have kids. And, I'm 22. I want to have a family. That's my goal. But how's that supposed to be? I'm kind of like a giant kid, as you can see the, like, wonderful picture behind my head, and the teddy bears over there to your left. But, sorry for my open, disgusting closet. The medication I am not on an IV. The treatment I'm taking is an oral chemotherapy, where I actually take pills every morning and at night and at 5 p.m. every day. It does get disruptive, but, like, you gotta do what you gotta do to stay healthy. Sometimes I don't keep the medicine down, and that can lead to really funny and embarrassing stories, like when I was in my sorority house and I'm throwing up because I couldn't keep the medicine down, because when I get stressed, I can't keep the medicine down. So, basically what happened was, I'm throwing up in the bathroom, and a girl is getting a tour because she's a prospective new member. So she's getting a tour around the house, and then she goes, "Is somebody bulimic in the house? You guys should take care of that. That's a serious issue." And I was like, "Oh my God." And the girl didn't know how to respond, so she's like, "No, that's our sorority sister with cancer." And then it turns out the girl actually joined our house, so I finally got to talk to her, and I explained to her what's going on, and she's like, "Oh my God, I would never have expected, because you're just so happy and such an outstanding personality." So that's pretty much the worst thing and most embarrassing thing that's happened. The worst thing that happened is that I had an internship last summer, but I had to give it up. I also was going to be working at camp, and I had a kind of promotion, but I couldn't work at camp. But I was able to go back to Indiana University. I had a couple of teachers that gave me a hard time, but I had Dean McHagg on my side. He's the dean of students, and he is awesome. And he really helped me get through a lot of stuff. And so did the Disability Student Services at Indiana University. I heart you guys. I really want this documented on TV, even though it's very personal, because even though I don't want to be labeled as the cancer girl, I think it's really important that somebody get out there and speak up about adrenal cancer. Not a lot of people know about it. People don't even know where their adrenal glands are. If you're wondering, put your hands behind your back and imagine where your kidneys are. They're right on top of your kidney. I actually had to have my left kidney removed because the tumor was 14 centimeters, and it started having it was impeding on the vein into the vena cava, and they had to cut it out, or else I could have died on the spot just because of the blood clot, which terrified me when I learned that. But, I look at it as really funny things, like, I take everything that goes bad, I take it as a lesson of something I need to learn about myself. Like, okay, so I can't do this, so maybe I should do this better next time. Okay, this didn't work out too well. Now I know for next time I have to do it this way. What's so great about me is that I just have such a personality, and I'm so willing to talk about it. I'm so out there. I just want to inform people. I want to get this out there. I want other people to know that, there's about 10 cancers that get ignored for every cancer that gets the spotlight. So all those cancers you hear about, they have great treatment, they have great funding, they have great this. For somebody who's 22 with a rare cancer like adrenal cancer, there's barely any funding. There's barely anything out there. And I'm sick and tired of hearing my doctor say, "Well, we don't know about that yet." So I'm out here trying to advocate for my own cancer in a way. To help you understand a little bit about the surgery that I had, I'm going to show you my scar. Here it is. The one thing that the doctor told me after I had my surgery, he was not sorry that I had adrenal cancer and that I had to deal with it for the rest of my life. Instead, he told me, "I'm sorry you can never wear a bikini." And coming from a girl who is kind of Jewishly curved like I am, I'm proud to say I'm Jewish and very active in the community, or in my community. I've never worn a bikini. The one time I wore a tankini, let's just say it was a very bad experience, and it ended up with me being on a tube boat and the bottoms disappeared. Go camp! So, another thing that's really important to me that I want to share with you is that I was actually featured in this year's yearbook. It was for IU. That's the IU student building on the cover. Go IU! Woohoo! I graduated on time. 4 years of college, double major in poli-sci and Jewish studies. Yep. And Dean McHagg actually, the dean of students, actually said something about me. He goes, "I'm very proud of her," said Dean McHagg, who met Cornick as soon as she came back to school her senior year. To have dealt with so much adversity and still have a positive attitude is admirable. McKeag said he kept up with her and her journey to graduation, and said that he dealt with many students facing challenges. He knew few who managed them as well as she did. Still, Cornick was quite quick to credit others for helping her succeed. I have such a strong support from my sorority and from my school in general, she said. Whatever I want to do with my life, I know I will have support. After graduation, she plans to take 2 years off of school and work as a youth group advisor, which I am doing. She also hopes to start a nonprofit organization that focuses on research for rare cancers. And this is really true. Me and my friends have actually thought about this, and we want to come up with some great way to give back to those and still donate money. Like, my idea was kind of make up baskets or something, and like you buy a basket that you give to somebody in a hospital. It came from the idea that my little cousin, she got me this Build-A-Bear while I was in the hospital, and I loved it to death. It was actually, like, he built the Build-A-Bear, and some of the money went to pediatric cancer, pediatric, like, hospital of some sort. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, I don't know the details. I apologize, but I love you, Build-A-Bear. And so I kind of got the idea from that because I loved getting gifts. Like, all last summer, like, I, like, was waiting for the mail to come. I was like, is the mail here? Is the mail here? Is the mail here? But, like, it never was. So, well, it did get there, and I would get, like, packages and flowers and, like, cards, and it just would make my day to know that people cared that much. Something else that's really special to me is a blanket that my friend made for me while I was in the hospital. It was really sweet of her because her dad has also dealt with cancer. I'm actually working with her now. She's such a sweetheart. She made me a blanket, which is green. It has Kermit the Frog on it, if you can see, kind of, because when I worked at camp, I was in charge of staff. I was head of staff happiness. So I came up with the idea that I found this crazy frog, and the idea was to pass the frog around and, like see who had it. Like, if you had the frog, you had to pass it on to somebody else. Then something else I'm really proud of is my sorority sisters. The first time I had to go to the oncologist while I was at school, they all got together and they bought me this giant coloring pages of Disney coloring pages. And on each page, somebody would sign it. So I have, like, on here, somebody signed it here. And I've colored a couple of the pages because, you know, coloring really is the best therapy. So you can see why I want to work with youth. I'm like a little kid myself. So that's pretty much my story, and I hope you, MTV, enjoyed it. Please, please, please have me on your show so I can educate the world about adrenal cancer. Thanks, and I love you.